my name is Zach Weaver-Slaus, and this is my chemistry video project on melting, freezing, and vaporization. So what is melting, freezing, and vaporization? Melting, the definition, is to turn a solid into a liquid through heat. So this would be when an ice cube is melted down into water. Freezing, the definition, is to turn a liquid into ice or another solid as a result of extreme cold. So an example of this would be when you put water in your freezer to turn it into an ice cube. And the definition of vaporization is to convert an element from a liquid or a solid to a gas. So this would be when you spill water on a driveway and it evaporates. So here's an example of two ice cubes melting down and then eventually evaporating. You can see these bubbles are a sign of it evaporating. You can see that the water volume also goes down. And then in this example, there's only one ice cube, and you can see it starts to bubble, and then eventually it completely evaporates and there's no more liquid left. So what happened in these videos? The ice was heated, which caused the molecules in the ice to heat up and expand and move faster. And because they move faster, the state shifted from a solid to a liquid. And as more heat was added to the now liquid, the water molecules moved even faster and they eventually evaporated into gas form. So here are some characteristics of the three states, which are solid, liquid, and gas. Particles in gas are well separated and they kind of move around kind of like uncoordinated and unplanned. Whereas in a liquid, they're kind of more tightly packed, but they can move past each other, which is why liquid molds to its container. But in a solid, the molecules are much more tightly packed. They jiggle around a little bit, but they don't move, and so this is why solids don't shape to their container and they stay how they are. Here's an in-depth view of the molecules in the three states. So things to remember from this presentation: even though in the two examples that I did, water is going from a solid to a gas, if this was a closed system, which means all the molecules stayed in together, you'd be able to freeze the now water vapor back into ice with extreme cold. And also, the state of an object is defined by the speed of its molecules. So if molecules are moving really slowly, it's a solid, and if they're moving really fast, it's a gas, and then liquids in between. So example question number 1. If the melting point of H2O, which is water, is 32 degrees, and the boiling point is 212 degrees, what state would water be at 50 degrees Fahrenheit? The best way to think about a question like this is, where is 50 degrees compared to 212 and 32? So below 32 would be a solid, and above 212 would be a gas. But because 50 is between 32 and 212, water would be a liquid at 50 degrees. And then the second example is a little bit different. It's talking about the state of iron. So if the melting point of iron is 2800 degrees and the boiling point is 5184 degrees, what state would iron be at 2800? Because the given last degree matches the melting point or boiling point, there's actually going to be more than one answer. So because below 2800 is a solid and above 2800 is a liquid, because 2800 is the boiling point and that's what, or the melting point, and that's what it asks, at 2800 iron would be both a solid and a liquid.